Hi everyone, it's Katie with Beauty for All Colors, and welcome to the webinar. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm excited that you're here, and we're going to talk about how to get you feeling sexy, sparkly, and confident. Um, at first, I'll tell you a little bit about Beauty for All Colors. That's my business, and I am a self-proclaimed beauty connoisseur and feminine empowerment coach. And what that translates to in layman's terms is that I coach women around their relationship with their beauty, makeup artistry, wardrobe consulting, and also around the relationship with their body. So I actually coach around intuitive eating and being in mindfulness and movement. And I also do group work as well as individual work. So that's Beauty for All Colors in a nutshell. About me, I absolutely love what I do. I'm incredibly passionate about it. And my group that I love to work with more than anyone else is women over 50, because I feel like you guys are in a period of your lives where you have the opportunity to be who you have never been before. And I love to see my clients take advantage of that. So one of the reasons why I'm having this webinar tonight is exactly that. I hear all of the time from women, especially women who are over 50, that there are rules that you have to follow. You can't wear certain colors anymore. You can't wear certain makeup anymore. You can't dress a certain way anymore. And I just don't think that that is useful thinking. I understand that there are certain ways that you may transform your look to, appear graceful or appear polished or what have you. Certainly there is a difference between 20 and 50, and 20 is not the standard of beauty, even though society might have you think that after 25 it all goes downhill and you just need to try your best to reclaim it. No, 50 is beautiful in its own way. And so I certainly encourage an adaptation over the years of your look to what suits you wherever you are in your life. But that being said, I don't like to hear things that you can't do. I like to encourage you to view the things that you can. I will save room for questions if anybody has any questions about image or about how to pull looks together or about how to pick colors or about how to be in a better relationship, a more functional relationship with your body. I will have some time for those questions. And I'll say from the get-go, you can also feel free to email me at beautyforallcolors@gmail.com. So that being said, welcome to how to be your sexy, sparkly, confident self, no matter what. Because I know there are plenty of times that you feel thrown off or you feel like you're second guessing yourself. You second guess your skill set, you second guess your size, you second guess whether or not you deserve to be able to date, you second guess whether or not you can afford to take that trip, you second guess whether or not your kids respect you. There are a lot of things that you second guess in your life, most likely. And what I would like to talk about today is using your outward presentation to leverage your confidence in order to get what you desire. So I'm willing to bet that there are probably things in your life that you'd like to change. Whether that is that you would like to be out there and dating, because let's face it, this isn't necessarily something that you strike up a conversation with a stranger in the grocery store. But especially if you are a woman who is in your 50s and you've never been married, or you've been divorced, or you've recently been divorced, and you have started to think about yourself again, and you've started to think about what you want again, it's only natural that you'd want to be out there and dating. But some of you won't even give yourself permission to dream about that, let alone take action on it. So we're going to talk about that. Also, you may be thinking, okay, now I'm 50 and you're either going through menopause or you're about to. And you're thinking about the rest of your life, and you're thinking about how you want your health to be. And so that's another goal or dream that you may have that you haven't necessarily checked in with yourself about. And so that hasn't had as much space. So we can, address that as well. And then some of you have been wanting to take really big trips your whole life, but life happened, your career happened, your marriage happened, maybe you had kids, that happened. And other things took priority over some of the things that you wanted to do, or maybe you wanted to open that coffee shop with your best friend, and it still hasn't happened, but it's kind of resurfaced as something that you might want to do. So we'll talk about that as well. All the things that I've mentioned, you actually have a fair amount of control over. You already know that. But what you might not, image is one thing that you always have control over. And it's one thing that is incredibly powerful in leveraging what you want and leveraging how to get what you want. And by that, I mean, it puts you in the embodiment of already having what you want. So I realized that that's like, oh, okay. Allow me to clarify. So, who you would be if you were in that fulfilling relationship that you desire. Many of you were stuck in, or are currently stuck in, unhappy marriages or partnerships for years and years, and you just tolerated it. You just dealt with it over and over and over again. You stopped dreaming about how it could be, and you just dealt with how it was. Now that that's behind you, or now that that's soon to be behind you, if you're listening to this webinar and you're still in that situation, I'm imagining that it's soon to be behind you. How might you envision yourself being in a fulfilling version of a partnership? You know how you've been in the unfulfilling or without a partnership. But how might you be in the fulfilling version of the partnership? There are ways that you would walk. There are ways that you would talk. There are ways that you would dress. I'm not kidding. There are ways that you would present yourself, and that's what I'm speaking to. On another topic, how would you present yourself, like as a businesswoman, for example, if you own the coffee shop? Would you wear really cozy knits in, nice earthy tones? Would you wear handmade jewelry from the local artisan? Would you, have your hair cut a certain way? I mean, I'm so serious about this. And these are things that are really simple and within your control, that would already put you in the embodiment piece of the thing that you desire. And that puts you that much closer. And you start to notice a little bit each day that you do it, that you feel, that much better, that much more open, that much more expansive. Another one is if you're looking at working on your health or transforming your relationship with your body, how might that person be carrying herself in the world? One thing with body coaching is that I hear this all of the time. I'm going to wait to buy those jeans until I'm a size fill in the blank, or until I've lost 20 pounds, or until I've lost 5 pounds, or whatever it is. If you were to buy the jeans now, you would be giving yourself the feeling that you're hoping to get when you are 5 pounds thinner, or 2 sizes smaller, or 20 pounds lighter. And you would also be telling yourself that you are worth it now, which would encourage you to continue on with the promotion of, transforming that relationship. And you would be carrying yourself as a different person in the world. And so I just want you to think about, if that's one of the areas of growth that you'd like to experience, think about what it would look like to embody that now. Like literally, how would you dress, and how would you be out there in the world? How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you dress? Would you wear makeup when you don't normally? Would you take an extra 5 minutes in the morning? And that actually applies to all of these things. So, I'd like you, if you would, to just take a moment and think about which area of your life you'd like to see a change in the most. It could be anything, and this is a judgment-free zone, by the way. So maybe it's relationships, maybe it's romantic relationships, maybe it's career, Maybe it's travel, maybe it's your relationship with your body, maybe it's something else, maybe it's money generally, or money overall. Whatever it is, just go ahead and just identify that for yourself right now and just have that in your mind. Next, I want you to actually visualize how that person dresses. What does that person wear every day? And that person is you, but I'm saying you as the person who has the money that you desire, or the romantic relationship that you desire, or the body that you desire, the relationship with the body that you desire, the career that you desire, the trip to, Latin America that you desire. How does that person dress? Like, I want you to describe it as richly as you can to yourself. Go ahead and write that down. I'll wait. And be thinking about, the texture of the clothes, or maybe there's something in your closet already that you already have. Maybe you have 5-10 different outfits that this person would wear already in your closet, and you just don't wear them. Think about, would the person wear accessories? Would the person wear a certain type of shoe? Would the person wear makeup? Would the person not wear makeup? Would the person have a certain hairstyle or something? Think about all of it. I just want you to bring it all in. The colors, I want you to bring in, the person's wearing a scent. Like, I want you to experience the full experience of you as that person. So once you have that in mind, we'll just kind of set that aside. And let's start by going into some truth telling. So I just want you to be honest with yourself for a moment about ways that you might be out of alignment in your life in this area that you've chosen to focus on. So, for example, if this area is your career and you are still working in a job that you don't really like so much, or that maybe you totally dislike, and you just kind of deal with it, you are stressed out a lot of the time because it doesn't really give you fulfillment. Just think of, don't necessarily apply judgment to it, but just think about, well, if you've picked career as your area, what does that look like right now? We're just kind of taking inventory. And also, we're taking inventory of the whole picture. So, like, how do you dress to go to work? And then we're looking at, how would that be different if career again is your area, right? This is different than to say if romantic relationship was your area. What's going on in that arena for you right now, and how are you presenting yourself in that arena? If the answer is, I'm not really even thinking about it, or the answer is, I leave the house in, yoga pants and a fleece jacket every day, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if it doesn't reflect the you who is in the fulfilled relationship, like if it doesn't reflect that person, then that's where, that's why we're doing the audit, if you will. We're taking inventory of what's going on in the area currently. How do you treat your body? Do you give it enough attention? Like, do you give yourself time to eat your meals? Do you give yourself the foods that really nourish you, that your body loves? Do you listen to your body and what it tells you? How do you treat yourself? Like, are you the person who, never forgets a birthday, never forgets a special occasion, always sends cards, gifts, and what have you, always volunteers to pick up the slack for other people, always responsible, always reliable? But then when it comes to you and your dreams and your goals, those don't make it on the list, or they're at the very bottom of the list. So just kind of audit that generally. I want to say, in being honest about this, again, it's not about the judgment. It's just about being able to just lay it out there and just see, okay, I've just identified how the person who has what I want would look, and I've identified how I'm being in this area of my life and in general areas right now. So the next thing is, you must actually believe in what you want. you must believe it. It can't just be a desire that's out in the stars somewhere that you just kind of get to here and there. You must actually believe it. And I would love it if you were to turn it into an affirmation too. So maybe, in fact, I'll have you do this right now. Within this area of your life that you've chosen to focus on, romantic relationship or travel or what have you, I'd like you to, if you can, pick 3 to 5 characteristics that you'd like to see in it, if that makes sense. So with career, it might be flexibility. It might be financial abundance. It might be fulfillment. Okay, so, pick the 3 to 5 characteristics that this area of your life would have if it were what you wanted it to be. And then go ahead and actually, with that list, really feel in your body that you believe that it's possible for something to contain those characteristics. So like, even though this area of your life may not be categorized like this right now, your career may not be flexible right now or fulfilling right now, or it may not yield the financial abundance that you desire right now. I want you to just hold space and believe that it's actually possible that something could yield those things for you. Like, do you see other people with financial abundance anywhere in the world? Well, yeah, you do. Do you see other people with flexibility, or maybe even yourself experiencing flexibility in other ways? Yes, you probably do. Do you experience fulfillment in other areas of your life, or do you see other people experiencing fulfillment? Sometimes you have to start small to let yourself know that you believe that it's possible. But just go ahead and play with that, with those characteristics, and just identify places that you've seen them play out, whether it's in your own life. And if it's not in your own life, that's okay. Maybe it's in somebody else's life. But just go ahead and do that so that you can kind of pull it together and start to really ground in the belief in what it is that you desire to see it change in. I like the notion of you getting like flirty and romantic with your desires. And so if you could take that area that you'd like to see a change in and just write it nicely on a piece of paper somewhere, like on your mirror or in your car or somewhere where you're going to see it every day. I really think that that would help you just ground it in even further. So the next thing that I'll say, and actually I'm kind of making sure that I don't have any questions. If you have questions, just go ahead and submit them. And if you're listening to the recording, again, if you have questions about what you've seen, go ahead and submit to beautyforallcolors@gmail.com. So I want you to be bold. I want you to really own that you desire to have a change in this area of your life. And I want you to pick a word synonymous with bold that you like. Maybe it's sparkly. Maybe it is, I don't know, joyful. Maybe it's audacious. It doesn't have to be a direct translation of the word bold, but I want you to pick a word that you can refer back to when you start second guessing this area. Because you probably will second guess. You'd be like, okay, I was watching this webinar one day and then this chick was talking about this stuff and I started dreaming again, and I hate when that happens because then stuff doesn't change and it never changes in my life. Okay. So you're going to refer back to that word that you chose and you're going to let it guide you. You're going to say, I am, therefore, it's all good. I can have what I desire. Seriously. Or I am audacious. So, ain't nothing stopping me. Nothing's getting in my way. So go ahead and pick your word, hold on to your word, and put your word up. I also want to loop back and say that you may be thinking, okay, this is all happening really fast. I don't know which area of my life I want to see a change in. I have a lot going on. I'm stressed out. I don't know what I want. All I want is to just stop worrying, or all I want is to just feel fulfilled. If that's your situation, I want to tell you that you're not alone. Pick something small. Maybe thinking of the big picture, like your whole relationship with your body, or the romantic relationship genre in its entirety, or career in its entirety, is a little much at this time for you. So maybe you just start really small. Like, it would be great to go on a date sometime. Just simple as that. Or it would be great to flirt with somebody. It's been forever. Just think of something super small, and just let that be what the goal is of all of this right now. And give yourself compassion for even being willing to try, for even being willing to have a dream, a desire, a goal. Because I know that it's hard to be disappointed over and over and over again. I get it. I just want you guys thinking about why behind what you're going to do with your image. Without that, you might start, dressing in a different way for a while, but I don't know that you'll continue to. And what I've learned with my body love clients, as I call them, is that they have to be connected to the why they desire before they're into it. And so with you, the why is going to help you transform and then leverage, your outward image. Okay, so you can never be too old, by the way, to make changes in any which way, in any small way, in any big way. You can never be too old. Like I was talking about earlier with the rules, I just want us to all just relax a little bit around that. We're so afraid, and I say we because this happens to me too, but some of you and me are so afraid of getting it wrong that we welcome rules. It's like, yes, something I can ascribe to and not be that lady who wore the sequin sweatpants with the baseball hat, with the lip gloss, with the bright pink tennis shoes, and look like a hot mess who escaped out of bingo. If you happen to be that person, first of all, more power to you, because you were audacious, bold, sparkly, sexy, confident enough to do that. Number one. Number two, people aren't paying as much attention to you as you might think. So if you happen to be that person, maybe somebody would notice you and maybe they wouldn't, but most likely they wouldn't notice your extreme. They will notice you if you are embodying your confidence. They'll notice that. But they won't necessarily notice if you're like totally outside the grain in a way that they think is like off-putting. So, I want us to relax on the rules. That's what I'm saying. I really do. I want you guys to have fun. I work with image clients all of the time. We have fun together when we just drop the rules, when we start playing, when we start pulling things together, and we envision the client going on a trip somewhere, or having a fabulous date, or landing, in the case of an entrepreneur, or in certain businesses, landing a big client, or just having a fabulous lunch with a friend. We actually go through the motions of who she's going to be when she's wearing those clothes. And that's what I want you to do here. You are not too old to be who you want to be. And the rules are simply guidelines that you can choose to follow or not follow, but it doesn't have to be such a dichotomy. I want to encourage you to play. I want to give you guys some tips as well, just generally speaking, around how to bring this all together. So one trip up that I've noticed my clients have is spending too much time on social media and the news. Force the negative wiring that you have around aging and around what's appropriate and not appropriate for you, or around weight, or around, body image. Limit your time on social media, because it's a comparison trap. And limit your time on the news because that's also a comparison trap. Um, I understand the benefits of social media for connecting with people, and I use it for that myself. But it's just limit it, just in small doses. And you may notice that you start to feel like a lot lighter without having as much access to it. And I understand you're probably not using it too much. It starts to filter in, and you start to feel like a kind of a keeping up with the Joneses effect, if you will. Not even necessarily related to your image. It could be, and then you start to think about your own, or somebody's kids, and you start to think about your own, or what somebody else is doing is not it. It's your business to just be mindful to not become overwhelmed by it, and just give yourself space to be living in your own reality. I also want to encourage you to make time for your creative expression, if you will, every day. So for those of you who are averse to taking on anything else to do, I understand that. You're my sister from another mister. I don't love being told, add one more thing of your list of things to do every day. So encouraging creative expression every day, it's actually something you already do every day. So what I'm really encouraging you to do is to just be a little more thoughtful about the outfits that you pull together for that day, reaching back to that area that you'd like to see a change in. I would love for you to incorporate little by little outfit choices that bring that forth. Okay, so you don't have to do the whole head to toe that you visualized earlier, but maybe a nice scarf, maybe earrings that you love, maybe the lipstick, maybe the necklace, maybe the boots, or maybe it's time to go online shopping, or maybe it's time to go to the thrift store. Don't let cost be a factor either. Some of you have identified that you'd like to be growing in the area of financial abundance. And some of you may have identified then that you would dress like somebody who can afford, really high-end designer outfits, and that's totally fine. So in lieu of that, if you can't afford to invest in designer outfits, think about secondhand outfits, or think about pulling things together that are nicely tailored, or in investing in having pieces tailored. There are always workarounds, and I encourage you to, again, I'm not trying to add something to your list of things to do. I'm just trying to help you leverage what you already do and just make it more powerful and more impactful. You already have jewelry, most likely. You already have clothes, most likely. You already have shoes, most likely. So in the act of getting dressed, just maybe add an extra 5 minutes. And whatever you can do differently in the 5 minutes, that's what you do that day. I have clients tell me, "I was so great. Oh my gosh, Katie, I reached for an orange scarf and I got compliments at the office all day and I felt amazing from an orange scarf." You have something like that you can do that is simple and quick, and I would love to see you do it. That is definitely a how to be sexy, confident, sparkly. Okay, like just simple. You get the compliments on it all day. You're reminded, wow, like it feels really good to wear something that I like, that feels fun. And again, it's not about validation from other people. It's about you embodying your most you. Give yourself permission to buy the skirt now or the pants now. If you're losing weight, okay, fine. If you're only going to wear the skirt for a month because you're in the process of transforming your body, or you're only going to wear it for 8 weeks or whatever, 8 weeks of power to you, honey. And then you can, resell the item at a thrift store. In my own process with my body, I definitely didn't wait to buy new clothes until I was a different size. And the reason for that is because I needed to feel that confidence now. I needed to invest in myself now. And it paid off. It took the pressure off of the process. Race to the finish line. I was just enjoying the process of nurturing my body, included my creative expression. So that's one way to look at it. As all the rest of you who are not focused on the body, but rather who are focused on other areas of your life, this is one way that you're giving yourself that trust. You are giving yourself that thing that you desire, and it will desire. Okay, how much more likely are you going to be to flirt with the gentleman in the coffee shop if you're wearing your favorite necklace? You're going to be more likely. I'm not saying that that's going to happen the first day you do it, but if that necklace makes you feel like a queen, it deep inside, that is going to radiate from you and you won't even realize it. So that's really worth investing in, and that's really worth taking the time to do, and it really will have results. I would love to hear back. Again, beautyforallcolors@gmail.com. I want to hear your stories. I'm serious. I want to hear. I'm trying to see if I have any questions as well. Yes. Katie, I don't know where to start. Everything you say sounds good, but I can't pick one area of my life to start in, and I just feel like I need some guidance. Okay. Okay. Close your eyes. Where do you want to start? Not where should you start, not where could you start, not where would it be easiest to start. Where do you want to start? That's your answer. The heart knows, and that's where I want you to go. Where do you want to start? And just give yourself permission to believe it and to be in it. Yeah, great question. Let's see here. Okay. Katie, I don't want people to think that I don't know my age. I don't want to dress funny. I just want to dress conservatively. Okay. Is conservative part of your personality? If it is, then be my guest, dress conservatively. If it's not, that's okay too. I think that there are ways to have a balance. Sometimes it means, you know, the structure of the garment is conservative and you wear a color that's a little more fun and lively than, you know, like a basic gray or a basic cream or basic black or what have you. But that's something that you could, you know, just explore with, like, just, in fact, I'll say to start with that, since I'm not sure if your style, like your personality actually is conservative, therefore I don't know if, you know, you really just want permission to be that way and to not have to push yourself out of that. That's fine. Like, you know, you are who you are. But I like to encourage my clients to take some risks, and I like to encourage them to change it up a little bit because it just feels so good once you take a little step in another direction. So try a different color than you normally would. Red looks good on many people, and color is very youthful, actually. So try a different color, like whatever comes to mind or whatever you see next time you're out and about or something you may have in your closet. Just try some color and just see where that takes you. And, you know, you can always do your color in a scarf or in a necklace or in some earrings if you don't want to do it like in, you know, your top or in your bottoms or your shoes or what have you. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so I just want to say again, how you present yourself in the world is one thing that you have control over. And I want you to leverage that power. So you have in mind an area of your life that you would like to experience a difference in. You have in mind the way that that person would be dressing, like the way that she would be presenting herself in the world. And part of how she'd be presenting herself in the world is her wardrobe. And so now you also have, in some ways, a roadmap to get where you want to go, because you know the wardrobe of the person who has what you want. And so now your homework is to incorporate some pieces one day at a time that will represent that person who has what you desire, and to just let yourself be in it when you do it. So I'm not telling you again that you need to go out and buy a bunch of clothes and just do a whole revamp and all of that good stuff. All I'm telling you is a little bit at a time. You already have the image in mind, and so you can just build on it. You can just say, okay, what am I willing to do today? I'm willing to do an orange scarf today. Okay, great. Let me do it. And just feel what it feels like to invest a little bit of that time in yourself, and also to experience how you're received in the world. That's the thing too, is I want you guys to experience how you're received in the world when you embody your desire in that way. And it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, we feel it when somebody comes in the room who feels like the queen or what have you. And it's not that she's the most beautiful person in the room. It's that she's embodied her own beauty. That's the difference. It's not the subjective of, well, she's the most beautiful person in the room, therefore, well, of course, we're all looking at her and whatever. No, I mean, we feel her energy. We feel what she's giving off. We feel that she has embodied, has alchemized her beauty, her confidence, her sexiness, her sparkle. And that's what we receive. And that's what I want you guys to be able to give off. And so in having selected your goal area, it makes it a little easier to have it be a little more defined for you to give it off, you know, to build upon giving it off slowly but surely. But certainly if you're feeling like diving in, I'm happy to do a full image revamp for you. That's no problem. But I just want to give you something that's, you know, easy to start with. And I also want to say, so as I mentioned before, the holidays are coming, and I want you guys to head into 2016 in a new way. You know, another year is almost behind us. And for some of you, you know, you've had these deep seated desires for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I would love to see you at least make movement in one of these areas of your life for next year. And you have time to do this now before the year is over, and to really just put yourself on track before the craziness of the holidays. You know, have you ever noticed you kind of lose yourself in the holidays, and it's like January 1st comes. I'm like, November 1st. January 1st comes, and then, okay, now I can think about myself. Well, by January 1st here, I would love you guys to be thinking about yourselves before you even get to the holidays, so that you can have a really magical holiday season and start your year off totally empowered. I mean, by the time the year starts, if you start this now, you're going to be a couple of months into the game, you know, almost 2.5 months into the game. I mean, that is really ultimately what I want for you. And that's why I'm having this webinar around this time, is because I think that it's the prime time for you to really hone in on that focus of yourself before you get into this period of time where the focus is on serving everybody else and scrambling and craziness and presents and parties and family. And yeah, you guys know the deal. I'm checking for questions. Okay. On that note, I am having a really, really, really private offering, and I was hesitating over whether or not to share it with you guys, but I'll go ahead and share it with you. I am going to be having a small group of women around this topic of image and around this topic of confidence, and specifically around aging gracefully, and what you can do to really be your best self at this time in your life, and how you can leverage that moving forward to bring you what you desire. And I'm going to be starting this actually pretty soon, so that you guys have this all set up in place by the time the holidays start. And I'm excited to be doing it because, again, it's a really intimate group, and I'm going to be having some experts come in on this theme, around women who are in this period of their lives. I call this Renaissance period because I believe it is a period of rebirth and redefinition. And it's an incredibly powerful period. But at any rate, I'm going to be having experts come in on various areas of strength for you. So spirituality, wardrobe, makeup, health. I haven't nailed down every single expert yet, so I can't speak to all of the areas that we'll cover, but we're going to have a few of them. And I'll also do calls that I'll lead with you guys. And I think I'll probably throw in some other group calls around body and transforming your relationship with your body too. So there's going to be a lot of stuff I'm going to throw in there for you. And it's just really built to give you extra support right before you go into the holiday season. And it's all about you, because I really want that focus to be honed in as you head into that season so that you can just slide gracefully into the new year with everything in place to leverage your image to get what you desire. And that's really what it's about. So it's like by the new year, you're actually already on track. You're not starting January 1st or January 15th or whatever. You've already been in it. And so you're already ready to roll. If you are interested in hearing more about that, you can email me at beautyforallcolors@gmail.com. Again, it is very private. So I'm not going to take that many people. And I don't know how many more times I'm going to mention it, but I just felt like, I'm probably going to mention it tonight, and then just let the people know who are on right now. If you're watching the recording and you're interested in it, you can still email me and see if I'm offering it again, or see if it's not too late or whatever. So that's fine too. But yeah, I just wanted to just mention that to you. I was just talking to one of the people I'm having come in as an expert call, and she's super excited to be coming in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great, because image is something that I absolutely love, like I said, and I work on it a lot. And my clients have the most fun when they give themselves permission to play. And so that's what I'm going to say to you guys, is of everything else, give yourself permission to play. Seriously. That extra 5 minutes that you take in the morning, think of that as the playtime when you are going through your outfits or going through your lipsticks or whatever, and you're just pulling in something that's going to give you the essence of, think of it as playtime. And that'll make it that much more fun, and you'll just be that much more likely to do it. I also would love it if you would do romantic things like give yourself kisses in the mirror, because I just feel like that just makes you feel so like joyful and lovey, and it just gets your energy flowing. So I hope that this information was helpful for you, and I'm just looking to see if I have any other questions, because I didn't want to make this a super long one. Let's see here. Do I have any? Okay, so it doesn't look like I have any more questions. You may not have the relationship that you want yet. You may not have the body that you love yet. You may not have the money that you want yet. You may not be traveling to the destinations that you want to yet. But you can dress like you do. You can dress like you do. You have control over that. And when you start doing that, watch the rest of your actions transform along with it. So this is Katie with Beauty for All Colors, and thank you for joining me. And if you're listening to the recording, thank you for taking that time for yourself as well. And I look forward to the next webinar. And like I said, any questions, you can reach me at beautyforallcolors@gmail.com. I will also say that my fabulous marketing business manager, Danielle, is also going to join us tonight. And she's super excited to be working with whoever joins the small group as well. So I just want to say thank you so much. So much love to you. And have a wonderful evening. Bye.